It was a cold, misty Monday morning in Houston, Texas, just after the new year. The industrial district was beginning to stir as 35-year-old Marcus Bell, a quiet yet hard-working forklift operator, pulled into the parking lot of Summit Freight Logistics, where he'd worked faithfully for the last 6 years. He always arrived an hour early, a habit built from years of discipline, and maybe a touch of anxiety. Marcus didn't trust easily, but he had never imagined that one day, he'd be left for dead by the very people he laughed and shared lunch with. That morning, the warehouse was silent. Too silent. A week earlier, Marcus had discovered something odd: inventory records were off. Thousands of dollars worth of electronics were unaccounted for. At first, he thought it was a system error. But when he quietly cross-checked a few dates with CCTV logs, his heart sank. He saw Tommy, a fellow operator, loading extra pallets into the back of a non-company truck. The footage was dated after hours. Marcus didn't confront him. He knew better. Instead, he printed the footage and stashed it at home. He planned to report it, anonymously, to upper management. But he underestimated how deep the rot ran. What Marcus didn't know was that Tommy wasn't working alone. There was a ring of 4 employees, including the floor supervisor Carla, involved in a coordinated theft operation. The stolen goods were being sold off the books and split among the group. And now, they knew Marcus was a problem. That Monday morning, Marcus was walking to the warehouse door when he noticed it was already ajar, unusual for that time. He stepped in, calling out, "Hello? Carla? Security?" No response. He took a few steps forward, then the lights flickered on. And out of nowhere, bam! A steel rod crashed into his shoulder. He screamed, stumbling backward. 2 figures emerged from the shadows: Tommy and Rick, another operator. Before Marcus could run, he was tackled to the floor. "You should have kept your nose out of business, man," Tommy hissed. Rick shoved a rag into Marcus's mouth. "No one's gonna find you here. You'll be just another accident." They beat him. Brutally. Cracking ribs. Kicking his stomach. Marcus faded in and out of consciousness as blood poured from a wound near his temple. They dragged his limp body to the back-loading dock, behind crates stacked stories high, and left him there. "He won't make it," Carla's voice said coldly. "If he does, we've got other ways to make sure he stays quiet." Then silence. Hours passed. A janitor named Luis, arriving for the morning shift, heard faint groaning from the back dock area. He followed the noise, and nearly collapsed when he found Marcus's body crumpled behind the crates, barely breathing. 911 was called. Marcus was rushed to the hospital with 3 broken ribs, a dislocated shoulder, a fractured cheekbone, and internal bleeding. He was placed in a medically induced coma for 48 hours. When he woke up, groggy and bruised, Detective Aaron Walsh from the Houston PD was at his bedside. "Mr. Bell," she said softly, "can you tell me what happened?" And Marcus did. Everything. Detective Walsh immediately pulled footage from the security cameras. Strangely, the footage from the morning of the attack was erased. Someone had tampered with the system. But Walsh wasn't deterred. She ordered a full forensic sweep of the scene and traced back weeks of digital inventory logs, finding discrepancies. She brought in IT experts who recovered deleted backups of the missing footage. There it was, grainy but clear enough: Tommy and Rick attacking Marcus. Carla's voice could also be heard, faintly but unmistakably. Search warrants were issued. Police raided Rick's apartment and found brand new electronics still sealed, items listed in the company's inventory as lost. More damning was an envelope marked AMB, filled with Marcus's printed photos of Tommy's stealing. They had discovered it during a break-in at Marcus's home days before the attack. Carla, thinking she was untouchable, tried to spin a lie about Marcus being unstable and threatening the team. But she cracked when Walsh showed her the recovered CCTV footage and promised her 25 years for attempted murder and organized theft. She flipped, confessed everything. The courtroom was packed when Marcus, still limping, appeared to testify. His cheekbone was reconstructed, and a scar ran down the side of his face, a permanent reminder of betrayal. Tommy, Rick, and 2 other employees, including the warehouse IT tech who helped erase the footage, were all indicted on multiple charges: attempted murder, conspiracy to commit theft, tampering with evidence, breaking and entering. Carla received a lighter sentence, 12 years, due to her cooperation. Tommy and Rick got 25 years each. The judge called it one of the most cold-blooded betrayals of workplace trust this court has seen. Marcus couldn't return to Summit Freight. He couldn't bear to walk the same halls where he had nearly lost his life. But something had changed in him. He no longer avoided confrontation. No longer stayed quiet. He began speaking publicly, at community centers and local safety forums, about workplace violence, whistleblower protection, and surviving betrayal. His story went viral. The man they tried to silence became the headline of a Houston investigative report. It sparked internal policy reforms in companies across the state. Despite the physical and emotional scars, Marcus Bell emerged as something more than a survivor. He became a symbol. A man who refused to be broken by betrayal. This chilling story shows how even the most trusted environments, like our workplaces, can turn deadly when greed, deception, and betrayal mix. Marcus Bell's bravery not only saved his life but exposed a criminal web hiding in plain sight. Justice didn't just knock on their door. It kicked it down.